Up till now, what we did in the Angular, that is, let me recollect the things again. What we have to do, we have to go to the command prompt. Your Node.js has to be installed. You can check out the version of it. Okay, version of 12.18.4 is available. You can check it out whether the npm is installed in your machine or not. Npm stand for Node Package Manager. This is also available 6.14.6. Then you can create a project. How you can create the project? Ng new project name. Let's say demo 12th of October. If I'm creating the project by the name of demo 12th of October, routing currently not required, so I press N and then hit enter over here. And then the project will be generated. It will install the packages. I'm repeating the process again and again so that initially everyone should know from what process we need to go through for the creation of Angular projects, and each and every conceptualizations will be clear to you. It is going to install all the packages firstly, and then we need to uh, run the server so that you'll get the default project runnable on the browser. Let us have some patience to install these all the packages. Okay, in the meantime, okay, let us discuss some other things. Now, in the last session, we had a discussion that whenever the project is created, okay, by default, it will create the component called as app component. means it will provide you the three main files, that is app.component.html. Now this app.component.html, actually here you have to provide the HTML contents, and then you have a second file called as app.component.css. It provides styling sheet, okay, cascade style sheet. Up till now we all come to know that the formatted setting we need to design through this. And the third file what is going to provide, that is TS, that is called as TypeScript file. In Angular, it provides the enhanced latest versions of the JavaScript. Means in previous web designing, we were using JavaScript for adding a logic, adding a brain, because your HTML, CSS will go to provide the static pages to make them dynamic, to add the more logic. Okay, these web pages are not going to perform any kind of uh, data manipulations and data processings. So in the client side, to add the programming logic, okay, they are going to provide you the scripting language, and that scripting language called as JavaScript. And in case of Angular, they enhance it to the TypeScript. We'll be discussing about is all the things in the coming sessions. So basically, whenever you create the project, by default you'll get these three components: HTML, CSS, and TS. And up till now, we deal with the app component HTML. There we are writing the HTML tags, and then you create your own CSS file, okay, where you define the selector like a body, okay, table, h1, and whatever the HTML tags you are having, you can have a property set over there in the CSS. At the same time, you can define your classes and you can define your IDs, and then by using division, you can apply that styling to your HTML pages. Up till now, I believe that we discussed in the prior sessions, right? Let us check whether your
Yes,
packages
sir.
are installing. Okay, now coming back to the CSS, we'll again recollect the things over there. Probably, okay, as I found, okay, we are not working much harder on the understanding it over there. Okay, so we understand that what is CSS. CSS provides styling sheets, and then style sheets are of three types: inline, okay, internal, and external. And here in this case, in case of Angular, everything is external. Okay, we have to like write the complete styles. There is separate file given, app.component.css, and there we have to specify all the styling over there. So anyone have any questions related to CSS so that I can answer? What is class, what is selector, what is property, and how you can able to deal with the CSS? Do you have any understanding theoretical questions in the CSS? Anyone? Or you understand it? Ashwini, can I ask
No
about something
questions.
something about CSS? No questions?
Yes, yes, okay. Please
how,
ask.
how many things you tried about the CSS? Have you tried about the classes? Then you have you tried about the IDs? Have you tried about the various selectors?
I, I perform a task on classes, but means I know the various properties of the CSS just like in the previous assignment I performed. I know this
in
various
in
type of
case of,
CSS
yeah,
properties
yeah,
just
it's
like
it's very simple. In case of classes, you have to start with dot, and there you have to write the division class equal to so and so, so that the whatever the formatted setting you specified in the CSS, it get applied. Means while styling styling you are keeping it different. Styling you are keeping in a separate file, and contents you are keeping it in one. Means let us understand, students means students, whatever the name and surname of there. But if they become a Raisoni students, means Raisoni's uniform they have to wear. If they are a Ramdev Baba students, means Ramdev Baba's uniform they have to wear. So that Ramdev Baba provides the styling, that Raisoni provides the styling, okay, that COEP provides the styling. so that when you join to that that particular college, your style will become that. Are you getting my point? This is what the example of the CSS.
Yes,
Contents are
yes.
different, and the content and the styling contents are different. Okay. Anyway,
Yes.
yeah. Now my package is like, oh, I successfully able to create the
So I have
project.
one doubt regarding.
Yes, yes. Please go ahead. I almost
Hello.
welcome all the doubts over there. I am okay. Let's go ahead. Yes, guys. Who is there? Hello.
Sir, actually, he is not getting your voice. That's why he stopped.
Oh, oh. Who who is that? Devendra.
No, sir. Shashank.
Shashank. Am I audible to you now?
Yes, sir. I'm giving him my headphones.
Okay. Okay. But the headphone is the issue. CSS is not the issue, no? Okay. Please. Okay. Then. Uh. Okay. Or Shashank, you would like to ask something over there about the CSS?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Actually, I have one doubt regarding to the selector, sir. I don't know about the selector.
Oh, come on. Selector means what? Body is a selector. H1 is a selector. The table is means like HTML
Okay.
tags are termed as a selector in case of CSS. Are you getting
CSS.
it?
Okay, okay, okay.
You're writing
Yes, yes.
body curly bracket, and then you are specifying the format of
Body
it. That
color.
is, that body is
Yes,
called a
yes.
selector. The standard
Okay, okay, okay.
syntax of CSS is selector. Is that HTML tag? Then the properties, curly bracket, properties, and the values. This is what that is in that
Values.
reference I am
Okay.
calling it selector. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir. Yes, sir. Sure, sure.
Okay, fine. So my project is ready now. So I need to switch to the project. CD demo 12th of October is the project name. Then to run the project, I have to use ng and serve. So I will write the short single character serve and open for hyphen o for open. So you can write the complete ng serve open, or you can specify as first character also. So this command will open my, and then is asking analytics. Okay, yes, I will sending it. Open the project over here. Now please focus. Okay, we are actually lagging behind in the Angular. Actually, I believe in the practically, because the things we are discussing very small and simple, but till I believe practically somewhere down the line you are not doing it well. Anyway, we'll reconnect back again on that, and then now my server is going to run now. Obviously, Angular is a huge framework, so it will take a lot of time to compile and all this stuff are there. But we need to get used to it all. Yes, compiled successfully, and then it will open into the browser. Then yes, here it is on the browser. By default, it will open that application. As it is a new project, by default, you know what it will appear, what CSS and what HTML view it will give it to you. Now here onwards, we start the development now. Now we need to go to the project. Yeah, here one CMD is already there where the server is open. Then yeah, switch to the okay. What the project name? Demo 12th of October. You explore that project and go to the CMD of it. Now look at that how I'm opening into the another CMD because I have to open in the, yeah. So now two CMDs are working. One CMD where the server is running. Okay, don't terminate this because if you terminate this, then server will stop working. Okay, so let it be like this and open in another CMD. Try to understand this thing. Open in another CMD and then open in the code. Open the visual source coordinator. Right now, before, okay, let's open in the visual source code. Okay, as we all know, once we open in the visual source code, by default, like we need to understand the project structure, how Angular is managing the project. One is source. What is the use of source? There you got the all app and asset. App means application components. It will manage the components over here. Then we discuss about the assets. What is the use of assets? You can create your all the images, okay, in the assets by creating your own folder and then you put your images over there. Then what we discuss up till now in the source, you app, you got a app component.html, app component.css, and app component.ts, right? So here if you app component.html, by default you'll get the view like this because of this default web page contents, you are getting a view like this. So what you need to do, you need to remove this all the HTML contents, okay, and then here let's say welcome to Axiom. Now I'll here you write it like this, and if you just specify the HTML tag body, and here we have to just write the HTML and go to the CSS, and here is the selector body, okay, and then if you want to have a background color, then look at here, background color, and what color you need, that you have to specify. If you need a text alignment, so to type the text, automatically align will comes. Now this is body is a selector, this is the property, and this is the value. This is the style of your CSS. So you just here you specify the properties, styling properties of body. You can specify the styling properties of table as well. You can specify the styling properties of H1 as well. You can specify the styling properties of paragraph as well. Are you getting it? You can define your classes like my class. You can define the IDs by hash. Now you understand what is CSS? And then if you go to the HTML, okay, and look at the browser and refresh it. Hope you saved it over here. Look at the result. Welcome to Axiom, central line with a background color CN. Okay, how it appears because of this CSS, right? You haven't like specify much over there. Up till now, whatever I did, everyone understands? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes.
No issues with that? Then how to put the images and all, that's not a problem? Yes. Okay, now let me go to the next level now. Now, actually, we are not supposed to depend on this default component. Okay, I'm removing this app component.css, app component.html, because this is default one. Ashwini just like a couple of minutes back, she asked me the question, sir, how I can add the new HTML file in Angular, right? You also might be have a question in mind. I want to create the login form. I want to create the registration form. I want to add another HTML. How I can add it? My answer is there is no need to add HTML files in Angular. Now you will say, how come, what you are saying about? Actually, you are not supposed to add HTML. You are supposed to add components. What I discussed up till now, component, by default, you got the app component. You got the component consists this HTML, CSS, and TS to run any file. To develop any UI in Angular, you need 3 files: HTML, CSS, and TS. So by just simply adding HTML, it won't work. Okay, so adding HTML, that's why I said, Ashwini, you are not supposed to add HTML. You have to add the component. How to add the component? Let's learn it. Are you getting my point? By default, there is an app component called as app component, but you are not supposed to code it over there. Up till now, we haven't learned about how we can add the component. That is the reason I use that default app component, default CSS. But we are actually not supposed to code or program your default app component. So how to proceed further then? Okay, no worries. Here you are in the command prompt again, and first of all, now you need to create a user defined component. Let us say you want to create the login form. You want to construct the login window. Okay, nothing to worry about. You add the project is different. Means in Angular project, there may be n number of components: login component, registration form component. Okay, so it means every page is a component, because it consists not only HTML but CSS and TS. TS stand for TypeScript. So to add anything in a case of Angular, you have to add a component in it. So let's add the component. ng means like my project is demo 12th October, and there I am going to add a default component. We know that is the app component, but now I have to add my own component. How to add it? ng, then G for generate, then C for component and name of the component. Let's say login. Login is the name of component. ng Angular, G for generate, C for component, and login. So login is the name of the component. Just add it. Okay. Now, once you successfully able to construct the login component, back to VS Code again, and check it out. Here you got the login. Now here you got the look at here your default app component HTML, app component TS, app component CSS will be there as it is, but it will added the new component called as login. Now login got the HTML, login got the CSS, login got the TS. Okay, so now you have to generate the login component. So let's say here they are written login works. Login works. Okay, fine enough. By default there is a login works, and then here I'm I'm adding a styling for the paragraph. Okay, that background color will be paragraph background color will be whatever, and I'll be going with the text alignment as a center. Basic things I'm adding over here. But now if I run the obviously this app component is not going to run. What is going to run? This app component. Are you getting me? When if I run the project now, obviously I'll get the blank things because nothing is there in the app component. I delete everything. Hope I saved it. Okay. Default app component. Yeah. It's nothing is over. It's completely blank. So what you have to do? Why not specify because by default, yesterday or last session I explained you, whenever you your server on, by default it gives a call to the index.html. By default it gives a call to the index.html, and in the index.html actually you referred to, in the body you referred to the app root, and app root is actually referring to your app component, and app component is a blank now. So if app component is a blank, why not you write app hyphen and what is that, login, and use a tab. What I did, you specify the reference of user defined login, user defined component. That app login means when index.html get calls, it give a call to the app component.html. In the app component.html I am referring to login, and in the login there is, we specify by default login works, and the css I specify login component.css background color so and so and so, and the alignment center. Let us run this. Run this means by default login works. It means what? Now we successfully able to create our own components and link up with the Angular application. You understand my concept? What I did, I removed everything from the default app components. I removed everything from the CSS. Now my everything is blank. I create my own component by name of login, right? And in the by default in the app component, I just specify the reference of my component. What I did for the specifying reference, you type app and then specify the reference of it, and then just use a tab. Automatically it will generate the syntax for it, generate the tag for it. So this will refer to the by default app login, and the control will be transferred to the app login. Now in the app login components over here I can specify, okay, the body. Let us say I want to here generate the form. Okay, I'm having a table, and if I say, okay, table row, table data, call span is 2, the login window, okay, and here if I say you how to create the form, everybody knows, enter user ID, and if I specify here input type equals to text, size equals to 30 sort of, and here in the next row if I specify enter password and input type equals to, here I am having a password, then I need a button. So what I will do, here in the table data call span equals to 2, align equals to center, and here if you need a button, why not you write button, okay, and you specify the button is called by the name of click me, any button name you specify, okay, sort of. And here this is the login window you want to generate, and you go to the CSS, and instead of background, you specify yeah, the styling of body. Okay, align equal to center. If you want to have a font or something, you can go with the font. How to generate the style sheet? Font size equals to what font size you require, 20. Okay, font with or family name of the this thing. Okay, you go with the Times New Roman. Okay, and then go to font. You can have this kind of font, weight, style, family. Okay, size you already specified, weight equals to 100. Fine enough. You specify in this manner, and now you go to the HTML. You go to okay, login window you generate. Okay, and let's check it out how you're getting the result over here. Yeah, here it is. Refresh it. You got some errors. No, taking time to refresh. Okay, enter. Login works. It will saved actually. I haven't saved it, I believe. Yeah, we haven't saved it. HTML, saved it. CSS, saved it. Yeah, and then you'll get the results over here. Are you getting it, guys? Login window. Enter your this thing. Enter your password. Okay, you got a click me button. Okay, and the alignment yet it is applied. Okay, that is alignment is has to be there. Text alignment has to be in the center. Saved it. You'll get the result like this. Refresh it. Why it's not something? Text alignment is center. And login component and body. Yeah, and everything has to be aligned in this. Otherwise, what the contents of this form, that is okay. Table means table. You define text alignment as a center. Yeah, let us refresh it. It's not aligned center. Okay, fine. Let us something is, I believe it has to be worked. Have you specified component CSS? No. Fine enough. But like, okay, guys, my time is actually moving fast. Okay, so you understand what I'm talking about? Okay, so what I did up till now, that is I created my own component. I created my own component. I give the reference of my own component from the app component.html. So the control goes to my component over there. Every component was the HTML, CSS and TS. Now TS we have to work over there. So up to today, if you can define the well-aligned login window by using a new component, that is also means like here we learn how we can define the new component and how we can able to redirect the browser's output to that. That is what the motive of this. So hope you understand this. What I'm going to share this everything to